Don't forget. Well, here we are live on Play for Time on our new channel, Play for Time, unless you're watching it on the old channel, because I was nice to you and left it there because I figured most people would forget. And Kerry, you're not at your typical location. I can't see you.
No, sir. You can't see me at all because I'm on the other side. Your
Everything's
references are
crazy.
So I'm on vacation with my family in Quebec. So you're gonna hear a little bit more about that now. But I've been looking for some local adventures, and adventuring has been slow because it was amazingly hot this week. Like it felt, I think the heat index, it was like 100 degrees, which I don't know what that is in Celsius, but hot enough that you sweat like the second you step outside.
Well, it makes it a little harder to get out there and have some adventures. Chloe says happy Friday to you.
Hello. So I thought about that. And one of the things that you'll see in today's clip has to do with a tour that we did at night, thinking surely at night it will be possible to walk around without being uncomfortably hot. And I was wrong about that. So you learn something new every day.
Learn something new every day. Joanne says happy vacation, Kerry. So sorry it's so hot.
That's okay.
Yeah,
it's
and
much
on
better
top
now.
of that, there's fires up there and some other things as well.
Yes, there was definitely some air quality issues. It's just luck of the draw, right? So we went to Montreal last December, and of course it was freezing, but the air was very crisp and clear.
So now this time it's there's smoke issues, there's heat issues. You have your oldest kid is over from the UK with their friend, and you have your other child as well. You have Dan is there. I mean, everybody's there. What is it like trying to navigate everybody's different experiences and whatnot? Like what, because I think of, like, when we think of adventuring, we think it's going to be a straight shot. Like, we're going to a place, we're going to do a thing. It's all easy. We all have the same dietary interests and all that. But I don't think it goes like that. What have you experienced?
No, well, for one thing, you just have to change your expectations all around, because I know from my experience, I need a little more rest than I used to. I used to be able to get down with some of my friends who like to go from dawn until late at night, and I just can't do that. So I need like a little rest in my vacation these days. So I'll book a maximum of one thing per day. The thing could be a tour, an excursion, or like a site that I want to go see. But that's it. Everything else we can figure out, like meals and stuff like that. So I take it very easy. But in terms of everybody's preferences, I mean, the sleep habits are all over the place, teenagers, and food preferences are, somewhat limited. But so what we did was get an Airbnb big enough for everybody so we can hang around in the living room together when everyone's up, and we have comfortable places to sit when everybody's not up, and we have a kitchen so we can accommodate everybody's dietary needs, including my own. And we just take it really easy. I book tickets for everybody for everything, not assuming that they're going to come. I mean, I always get their like kind of interest in it before I book it. But on the day of, they might be tired, they might have not had a good night's sleep or whatever, like a million reasons. So I just go, that's cool. I book things I'd be happy to go on my own if I had to. That's my secret.
That makes sense. That kind of puts a backstop to it, so that if nothing else, and even if there's a little bit of money blown on the people who decide not to go, at least you will be happy. I want to say hello to LinkedIn user. There's that one thing that happens where if you don't say yes to some particular permission, it'll not let you be known as an actual human entity. So,
well, StreamYard is very protective of your privacy. So you have to extra opt in. There's instructions for doing that. I forget where they are on the StreamYard site, one assumes.
But thank you so much, StreamYard, not a sponsor, for keeping us safe. That's always good. So you have, not a sponsor, you have going a clip that you had Dan put together while you were up there in Quebec, and I want to run it. Do you want to give us a little precursor, or should I run it and then we talk about it after the fact?
I'll say this, it doesn't look as hot as it is, especially the half that was shot at night. It looks perfectly reasonable. Everybody seems fine. But if you look closely, you'll notice everyone's wearing as little as possible and they're moving very slowly. So just so you know, it was like a million degrees.
One of our LinkedIn users is John Hawkins, a good long time friend.
Hi, John Hawkins.
All right. Now, to load this, I had to do something different than I normally do. So I think it's not going to mute us, but let's see. I'll just push this button and see what goes.
Ever wondered what it's like to step into a real-life postcard? Come to Quebec City. My family and I spent the day feeling like royalty in the afternoon and crime podcast junkies at night. First stop, the Fairmont Le Chateau Frontenac. It stood for more than 130 years and holds a mix of history, intrigue, and secrets. People call it the most photographed hotel in the world, and I believe it. The turrets, the copper roofs, and a lobby featuring period details and a portrait of the hotel's namesake, Louis de Bois, Comte de Frontenac et de Paluot. On the tour, we learned the hotel hosted world leaders. Roosevelt and Churchill met here during World War II. Princess Grace of Monaco and Queen Elizabeth II stayed here. Even famous filmmaker Alfred Hitchcock checked in. I ran my hand along the same brass banister they did. It felt like joining an exclusive club. Our guide told stories about famous guests and odd details in the building's design. I wanted to pause in every hallway and imagine the conversations those walls have heard. When the sun went down, our royal mood shifted. We traded chandeliers for cobblestone streets lit by gas lamps. The animated crime walking tour felt like stepping into a true crime story. We followed our guide through Old Quebec, hearing about botched heists, past scandals, and rough street justice. The night air and our own footsteps made each story feel alive. Quebec City gave us two very different adventures in one day. If you keep saying you'll visit someday, remember that tours fill up and seasons change. You can't bottle the feeling of being here. If you like real-life adventures, you're in the right place. Play for Time is about staying engaged with life and collecting the moments worth keeping. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and join us.
So you're muted for one thing.
Wow, that was really impressive. You're an incredible French speaker. I had no idea. That's amazing.
Right? My pronunciation actually is really good. Thank you. I worked really hard on it. I don't want to embarrass myself.
C'est bon.
So thank you. Merci. I'll tell you something else. It was so hot that night, and that poor tour guide with the
That's
white
what I was
makeup,
thinking. And the gloves?
gloves, like winter gloves. I think they're supposed to be like of the period, the gloves that like women would wear, but they're winter gloves. And then boots. She's got boots on, and this like heavy. I don't even know. I don't know how she does it. She must have like cooling wires built into the thing.
That's a great question. Kind of like the heating ones, but the opposite, I guess.
Yeah. Fun fact, the way back, we almost died of the heat because we ended up in the oldest part of the city, which is very low, and we're staying in like a higher part of the city. So we had to walk back like up an actual proper hill, and it was so hot. There's just, yeah, I didn't think we were going to make it. We stopped, we bought water. There was definitely whining on my part, among others. And yeah, we made it. It was okay.
I have been to Quebec City once when I was a teenager. And even when you said that that's where we were going to go for your vacation, I was like, oh, Chateau de Frontenac, because it's the only thing that anyone knows there. That and Bonhomme Carnival, the little blue and white snowman, which even my ex-wife Katrina said, go looking out for him. Did you run into our snowman friend anywhere out on the road?
Not yet. No, not yet. Actually, did we? No, I don't think so. I was like, I think I'd remember that, but no.
You'd remember that.
I saw a moose sculpture that had like fur on the outside. Do they have fur or do they have hair?
No, that's a good question.
I feel like it's
I don't know.
Fur. I don't know. Anyway, it had hair, which I was like, that's a bold choice because that's got to be hard to keep clean. So that I remember. And what else have we seen? We went to the aquarium yesterday.
Hair, not fur.
Sorry? Oh, they have hair.
Moose have hair, not fur, because they are a mammal, is what I've come to learn.
Okay, well, they have hair. So we've also, since arriving, been to the aquarium, which I'll do a segment on that.
Oh, nice.
a very interesting library that the building used to be a jail. So we'll do something about that as well. And yeah, I've been like low key touring because of the heat and stuff like that. But I'm getting
That's
out there.
that's an important part of adventure, isn't it? Like having alternate backup plans because, sometimes things don't quite go the way that you want them to go.
No, but plan for
Um,
yourself. I think people think that adventure has to be spontaneous, and it can be, but also if you have any kind of needs, like I actually have some legit dietary needs, I can't just like go wherever and figure it out now. You have to plan a little bit. So because I do like to be spontaneous, I keep snacks in my bag all the time. So if we're in a situation where we want to go someplace and they don't have anything that I could actually eat, I don't have to starve or whatever. I can at least
mhm.
have a snack until I can get home and make my own food. So I am kind of like prepared to be in, what do you call it? To be spontaneous. Prepared to be spontaneous.
I like that phrasing. It's interesting too because there's like we were talking about, there's multiple people at this particular vacation, so you have to kind of try to appeal to everyone's interests, but you can always sort of find common ground. Like street art is quite often something that everyone will want to go see. I'm sure that shops can never go wrong or whatever, and there's a bazillion shops in Quebec as well. The only challenge, of course, is that if at 1,000,000 degrees you don't exactly want to go look for tchotchkes on a table while people's shoes are melting on the street.
No, to be fair, it's not normally like that. You could be like, oh, don't book trips in the summer, but here it's not normally like that. So nobody was kind of prepared for that. The tour guides, the tourists, the people who live here, there was like a heat dome. So I think we were all just kind of, doing the best we could together with what we had. And we did accommodate. The next day after that long walk up the hill in the heat, everybody was really tired. The kids didn't feel like going anywhere. So I had booked like one museum tour myself, and I just went, and it was great. I did Uber up the hill though. I was like, screw that. It was like 100 degrees that day again, and I said, I'm not doing that. So
They're very steep hills. Like when people are hearing that, they might be thinking, geez, what are you talking about? But they're like real significant hills. These are, mountainous regions, not exactly like, around the corner or something.
yeah, some cities will surprise you. So Edinburgh, very hilly. Seattle, very hilly. It turns out Quebec has some hills, and then Lisbon in Portugal, lots and lots of hills.
Lisbon, yeah, very hilly. These places, I tell you, they're,
How
I
dare
think
you?
they should flatten these places out. Haven't they even seen America? We love
Well,
everything on one
so
level.
the key is just knowing your tolerance level. I have one tolerance level in cool weather and a very different one, apparently, in the 100-degree heat that's very humid. It's a lot lower. It's probably not just me, but you might have to adjust your plans at the last minute, depending on the weather where you're going, and that's okay.
So I put together a little clip about adventuring because I went on an absolutely micro adventure of my own yesterday, which is nowhere near like going all the way to Quebec with a whole bunch of family and friends and going on tours and getting guides. In fact, all I did was sneak onto a little bitty island and then also go to a city that I go to all the time, but found an area that I had never spent any time in.
You snuck
So,
onto it. Did you like get in a dinghy and pull a tarp over yourself and wait for a fisherman to come along?
and like watched for the lights to move at a certain time. And yeah, it's sneaky as anything. Take a look.
I think getting out to do stuff is such a challenge, but on the other end of that challenge is everything that might be beneficial to figuring out how to keep going with everything. Because we're weird, aren't we? Humans, like we are such creatures of habit and comfort. If we had our way, we would stay inside, do the same things, eat mostly the same things. I mean, we are not, as a whole, not exactly prone to adventure, are we? But when we go out, when we find a chance to push ourselves even a little bit, usually just over that little hump of resistance is where things actually get worth it. In this trip I took, I go up to Portsmouth, New Hampshire a lot. I love it up there. It's not that far away. It's like 20 minutes or something. It's very old-timey, kind of like where I am now, but a different kind because it's a port city. And I go there a lot. right on the other side of the water from Portsmouth is Kittery, Maine. Now, I'm originally a Mainer, and I don't go up there as much, but when I thought about it the other day, I decided I'm going to go to Kittery instead of Portsmouth and see what I could see. And while I was looking through Google Maps, I found a little island called Badger Island, and it is so tiny. And it's an island. You got to get over to it by way of a couple of bridges. And in going over there, I found a few things. I found a lobster shack. I found a place that has a nice raw bar. And I took a couple of photos there as part of my adventure. And then, like, it's a very small island. You could do it in like 11 minutes if you don't stop for a meal. So then when I finished that, when I got over that part of the experience, I went over this little bitty bridge and ended up in Portsmouth, but in a part of the city that I'd never been to. You got to understand, I go to Portsmouth almost once a week, and I still found a place that I had never been to. That's what I mean by, like, we don't really go out of our way. We don't break our adventure. We don't break our patterns to adventure very much, do we? So I went to a slightly different part of Portsmouth and found a nice whole new exciting area to look at. So I went down by the docks. I saw these really cool tugboats. I wandered around, saw some back streets that I had never seen. And I also found my way into a restaurant that was having a seafood happy hour. So it was like oysters for $1.50 and ahi tuna slices for $1.50 and stuff like that. And I got to look out the window at the boats as well. So all the way through it, there was this adventure, and it was right there in a town that I visited lots of times but still hadn't seen it. So I think my point is that if you don't make the effort to get outside your zone, it doesn't take much to do it, and it is amazing how just a small change of scenery can change the whole process.
Wow. So a whole
So
new
weird.
area.
In an area, in a place that, we go up once a week or so to Portsmouth. And we did this sort of in Salem that time too. When we found the point, it was like, who was hiding this, So I guess
But they're not
it just,
hiding it. We're just not looking. We're going to the same
that's
place every
right.
time. So you have
Exactly.
to stop going to the same place every time if you want to find something new, obviously.
So that's the big point of the
It's a good
episode.
lesson.
You go all the way up to Quebec and have these adventures where everything is completely crazy. I go 20 minutes up the road to a place I go every week and still found new places, which is to say, you don't even have to go that far to have an adventure, but you can if you want. Jonathan says that the best side quests are unexpected.
Agreed. Agreed. I would have brought my kids to me if that was an option and done local adventures. I definitely do explore my local area as well all the time. I go to all the dumb historic sites and museums. I have a membership that gets me into, it's called Historic New England. If you live anywhere in New England, you should have it. It's pretty inexpensive, and you can get into all the historic sites that they manage and preserve. And there's a lot of them from like Maine to Connecticut. So it's pretty cool. If you have any interest at all in history or your local community and you want to do some spelunking, I recommend it.
Leslie says, I was in Kittery briefly last month. Now I need to go back and spend more time. You have to understand where Leslie and I are from. Kittery is the absolute southernmost tip of Maine. And no one from where we're from, we don't even call that Maine. That's like fake Maine. And
It's like northern Massachusetts. Is that what you call it?
yeah, because all the tourists are there. You know what I mean? It's not like nobody we know goes down to Kittery for something fun to do. The best they'll go is over to Bar Harbor maybe or something.
You're one of them now, right? Like going to do tourist stuff in Kittery.
Only for more than half my life, What can I say? 3/4 of my life now. Yeah. And again, I wasn't like throwing a rock that you're in Quebec. It's just like you don't have to go far to have a big adventure. You can have it local as well. You could do both.
I'll tell you this much though. So Quebec was about a 6-hour drive from Boston-ish. So I'm about an hour north of Boston. So let's say it would be a 7-hour drive from Boston proper. it's worth it. It's if you want like a little piece of Europe and you're not about to go to Europe for reasons like logistical or whatever, it's a great way to kind of get completely out of your comfort zone and experience a different culture.
I find that this is true, and I hope Chris Garrett's not listening because he's out in Calgary area. But I find that it is true that the maritime provinces in the northeast of Canada are all very fun and all very European. Like you can go to Prince Edward Islands, hang out where Anne of Green Gables was. It took me a long time to realize that Megan Swallows wasn't there anymore, or whatever her name is, Megan Follows. I don't know, whatever her name is, the Anne of Green Gables person. Nova Scotia is beautiful. It's got Peggy's Cove. It's got all these other beautiful things. Newfoundland, St. John's, Newfoundland is one of the best places I ever went. It felt like mini Ireland. Like you go there and they have that accent, like an Irish accent, not like the whole rest of Canada. Quebec, I have some relatives there. I have relatives in Montreal and all those sorts of places. So I've been there a few times. But Quebec City is old Quebec. Do you remember by any chance like how old the chateau was, by the way? Like what's the...
Oh, 100, I want to say 130 years. It's not as old as you would think, but it's, it's up there. And there's other parts of the city, obviously, that are older churches and stuff like that. It's the age of the buildings is evident, and it's what gives the city its charm, in my opinion. The old part of the city. It's walled. I think it's one of the only walled cities in North America, except for like in Mexico. I love a walled city. I love York, England as well. So you know how it is.
Joanne points out that, the Northeast is like where you can get that vibe. John says Quebec City, especially the historic part, is magical. And then as I say,
there. It's amazing.
Yeah.
As I say that,
tell me.
When you were talking about St. John's, that we said, that guy that we interviewed who writes books that are set there about the detective. And oh gosh, I'm trying to remember the name of the books. I listened to as many of them as were available on Audible. And the guy would write about what people were eating, and I was friggin' here for it. Like, I loved it. So it's a detective, but he'd be like, oh, he's going to eat this, and he's having this, and a cup of tea for dessert. I was like, hell yeah, man. Hell yeah.
Delicious.
Those are,
like,
yeah,
I did in fact call it.
I love that guy.
I called it Mini Ireland. And I say that, and then, of course, Monahan's own Paul Bond shows up and says, Mini what? Because representing the Ireland. Paul has one of my absolute favorite newsletters that you can only get on LinkedIn, and it is just a delight. So as you see him in our comments as a LinkedIn user, come and find Paul Bond and find his awesome newsletter. It's really
just about Quebec. I know. Oh.
It's about, every story is something. It'll start in one place, it'll go away something, and then he has PSs that are sometimes longer than the whole letter. It is a treasure.
I like to tease you. I'm going to program a GPT to write a newsletter like you, and everyone will start with like, my grandfather sold candy. Or one time I rode my bike into the house and told my mom, move the house. I got it. We could like put them in there, like in a rotation, and start off strong every time.
Do you like ginger?
I'm afraid to answer. Ginger, like Gilligan's
Not
Island.
Not in Gilligan's
ginger?
Island. The actual food product.
Okay, because I preferred Marianne. But yes, I like ginger.
I've just realized that there's two types. There's people who use actual ginger root and don't think anything of watching like floating knobs of stuff go by in their drink. And then there's people who do not and probably would be like, why do you got a bunch of chopped up roots in your beverage?
Oh, is that what that is? I wasn't going to ask.
It's always better if one doesn't.
I have learned not to. I've
So
been working with you a long time.
New Play for Time is working on the new channel. I was putting it on the old Chris Brogan channel one last time just to show the crossover. But if you have not gone over and subscribed at the new channel, you got to go to youtube.com/@playfortime. If you don't do @ you will not find it. You will say, what is wrong with me? And I will say ADHD. So youtube.com/@playfortime, and you'll find us. Make sure you subscribe.
We are doing more adventures. Our on location segments, we'll still do those. We're going to
Nice.
bring back some of the interviews, the kind that we used to do for the backpack show, but these are going to focus on people who have stayed engaged with life, maybe started a new career after retirement, or just taken a wildly different direction from the one they were on, like later in life than most people would think is typical. So that kind of thing, it's really exciting. Sometimes we'll have shenanigans, just play games for funsies, but it'll always be a little bit of an adventure.
A lot to come every Friday live at 11 Eastern. It's 3 or 4 over there in the Europes where, Paul and Chloe are. It is 8 over on the other coast where Joanne is. My mom and dad aren't here today. They probably slept in. And we are going to get ourselves out of here and